listeners may find the following footage deeply disturbing. For more awesome content, like and subscribe now. Lock and load, bitches.
I had to bring back a classic.
I like that one. Hey, I actually got notified that the show was live for a change.
I hope everybody's doing well this morning. Just here hiding from the heat.
Not
Maybe
too bad
we'll
here
get
today. Should move to Ohio, man. It gets hot here too, but not as consistent as you do.
Yeah, this week was supposed to be in the 80s. I hadn't looked.
I don't know what it is today. Computer. What's
Yeah.
today's weather?
We're in the
Currently,
80s.
in Conneaut, it's 72 degrees Fahrenheit with clear skies and sun.
Just
You can expect more of the same today,
Sorry.
with a high of 81 degrees and a low of 68 degrees.
There you go. It's going to
If
be
you'd
80.
like, I can tell you the weather,
No.
quote of the day,
Stop.
stock market update, and more.
Computer,
when you say
stop.
good mo-
There you go.
we need some days to dry out. We've had so much rain.
Oh yeah, I think everywhere. At
Yeah,
least in the eastern half of the United States. I know we haven't been able to have our yard sale this year because we like to have 2-day yard sales, Friday and Saturday. And there hasn't been a Friday or a Saturday that it hasn't rained. So at least one day of the week, or one day of the weekend, it's been raining. Plus during the week too.
Yeah, so with the holiday weekend coming up, remember there's no shipping on Friday. Friday's the 4th.
Oh shit! Yeah.
Also, if you do whatnot, thanks, man. Yeah, you like it, Johnny thought she was funny. It's made it look like a Nintendo shirt.
It is good. I like it.
Then I lost my train of thought. What the hell?
You're talking about
Whatnot. Whatnot has discounted fees on Friday and Saturday. So instead of 14 or whatever it is, it's only going to be 4.
Do you think the platform might get overloaded those days? If that's
no, because there's still a lot of people that are going to be gone just because. We've moved our Sunday show to Saturday. We're going to do a Saturday night just to see, but we think their Sunday night might be a little too crowded, so we're going to go back to Saturday night, and then.
I noticed on Sunday you had lesser of an audience than you normally do, and I know Jenny was on at the same time, and that kind of, it's the same audience, it's the same type of audience, and
it was. Mark is headed to estate sales. We don't have estate sales this week. I don't think there's any here.
Really? Wow. I don't ever know because we don't go to them, but
not only are there
for some reason.
Not only are there no estate sales, also our local auction is shut down this week.
Probably because it's a holiday week, yeah.
Yeah, well, they do pick up on Friday, and I didn't want to put their staff there on Friday all day. So that would take the 4th of July. So they just
what is open this week? Probably not. I think even on the 4th of July, the Goodwill bins.
We've got them here. I've never even been to them. Maybe that's something I need to go check out today.
Just give it a shot. You don't have to stay for the seat. Ours does it in a really nice methodical pattern, and I love it. I've been to ones that don't.
I know they're in Madison. I don't even know where the hell they are. So maybe
It'd be fun. I found Mac OS X Snow or Leopard in the bins. It's good stuff.
Yeah, we figure there'll be a few yard sales this weekend. There'll be some. I would think it would be a good weekend to have a yard sale because you wouldn't have a ton of competition. You'd get a lot of traffic, I would think.
Here, people, it's mega yard sale weekend because people are off, and they know that there's going to be more increased. It's kind of a touristy area with the lake right here and stuff, so there's going to be increased traffic this weekend. There's fireworks on Friday. There's a parade on Friday.
I've never thought to myself, let's go hang out in Conneaut, Ohio.
Yeah, well, you're not from here. That's why. You all come to Conneaut and you'll see. You go down to the beach. It's beautiful down there. And yes, there is a beach on Lake Erie, unlike some people think there isn't any beaches unless it's the ocean.
A spam is
beach too.
Spam is Is Primo there with you?
Any y'all been to Conneaut, Ohio? You got to educate the beard here.
So Sandy says she's been. Their ones are small. Only go if you're in the area.
Yeah, ours are massive. The one in Cleveland is pretty big.
What do you think?
What kind of hat is that?
It's the one that matches his C3PO. I should have adjusted it. It's too tight. My head.
It's a pretty cool hat.
That's the. He's got the C3PO version. This is the. I think this is the one of the TIE fighters or something. I believe that's what that is.
Nice. I sold a couple Star Wars. I got a Star Trek hat this week. It's a really cool one.
I need to make the thing bigger so you can. Yeah, I found this the other day at the bins.
Beautiful place.
I found this. My camera's not the greatest. I found this at the bins the other day. So, not the bin, at a thrift store. I've been meaning to wear it. Yeah, mine's not in as good a shape as his. You can see it's lost some of the stuff.
Hey, Pitco, it's good. It's a good thing we just started, so we don't really have much to go over.
Yeah. But it was a good. I guess that's a good company that made the hat.
Yeah, sure. I sell hats a lot of hats. I still don't. I know New Era is a good company. That's about it.
Yeah.
Mitchell and Ness. Yeah.
So I am listing one hat today. I bought it from Kevin.
I've learned that I have to start researching things before I throw them on Whatnot. But
so I bought this from Kevin. I think I got $21 for it.
Tennessee picker, Kevin?
Yeah. He has sold the exact hat for $60 or $69. Wow,
nice.
So I'm gonna use his listing to put it up.
Yeah, of course you would.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about hats to make me dangerous. So
I don't either, and that's why people get really good deals and keep coming back and buying from me. So
hey, I could call this my Commonwealth hat with the sunglasses.
Yeah, it kind of does look like. At first, I thought that was snow goggles up there when I didn't know what the hat was.
So we had wing night last night. Marcia joined us, Harlan, Marcia, and Tracy, and it's amazing just watching these shows and listening. Especially, she's a newer reseller. You know, she got addicted to reselling because of Harlan. And I warn people, it's a freaking disease. You can't.
It is a disease.
Don't ever start. But so I picked up some Maui Jim sunglasses a few weeks ago. And she's like, I never even thought about looking at sunglasses. And she found a pair. And she only paid $10 for them in their case at a yard sale last week. They're nice looking glasses. It's amazing what you can learn if you just listen to some of these shows instead of deciding that so I've got a video coming out tomorrow about a comment somebody made. And it's the fun stuff. It's the comments that get hidden. Nobody sees it. I deleted. I don't remember who made it. So, yeah, the only hats I wear. Okay, so when you become bald, hats make your head hotter. I don't know if there's some kind of insulation factor with hair. I don't know what it is, but it's hard for me to even wear a hat when I get hot because I mean the heat's trying to escape the big bald dome, and But I've got one of those big bucket hat. I've got a bucket hat from Adidas. It's made out of the moisture wicking stuff that does okay.
I got a hat this week, from Duluth that has that, and it has vents built in. It'd be a good hat for you.
Matt, how does Duluth stay in business? We've got one here.
I don't know.
I'm not paying $25 for a pair of underwear.
But their stuff sells really well. Even resale value on some of that Duluth stuff. I've sold Duluth shirts.
I don't care if they have little pockets that cradle it. I'm 50 some years old.
Don't need much cradling anymore.
You can just do the shake off your leg. You don't need all that shit. I've lived this long without it. I'll make it another whatever years I got left on this planet, this flat planet. But yeah, so nothing really going on to this week. Sales are kind of flat. I did list, so I'm trying to. So Kevin made a video. I talked about this in the video I'm releasing tomorrow. Sometimes the answer is working a little harder, doubling down, more listing, more. And so the one thing I actually watched he got to the, so I gave him a hard time because he takes the whole time to get to his point. Well, this time he got to the point right at the beginning. I was like, what in the hell is this dude going to talk about for the next 30 minutes? He makes great videos. I like to mess with him just because he's a really good dude. But I would say instead of working harder, I would also say sometimes you need to look at your processes and refine your processes. Dad always kept the paper towel or a Kleenex. Man, hats make a bald person hot. So I would tell you to take some time there's a reason why your older listings, for whatever reason, they are really long tail stuff and they're going to take a while, or maybe your prices are bad, pictures are bad. Maybe you need to get a better description. Maybe it's the title's not optimized, and a lot of it could be a combination of it. Title optimization now is very easy to do with these large language models. I'm trying to wait for Josh and his AI lister. I'm manually listing freaking DVDs yesterday. I'm like, Josh, I could have been done with this in like 6 minutes, and here I am plodding away.
You didn't get the email yet?
What email is that?
I got an email that I'm allowed in to list easier.
No.
Oh, well, you better check with Josh then.
He told John and I not to sign up for it, not to do it.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying that some emails are going out to some people where they're allowed in. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
We're two of the affiliates, though. But I did. I did list. Okay, so all of you Whatnot people, I tried selling y'all these on Whatnot for a few dollars. I think I had them up for like $8 or $9. Nobody would buy them, so I listed them all on eBay. I've got like 9 of them. These two sold overnight for $25 each. So,
well, I think with the difference between, you got a lot smaller audience on Whatnot, and they have to be wanting that particular item when they come in. And if you're doing, say, like
there's a bunch of resellers, they should be able to know that these are Steelbook Star Trek has value.
I think it's a different program. I don't know.
There is a list easier and an easy lister. There's 2 of them.
No, I got it. I'll go look at the email right now.
Are you sure the email is not? Did you sign up for text thing?
No. It is. Hold on. No reply at. Oh, maybe it was text thing. I don't know. How did I get in that one?
Text the one that sends out emails.
Oh, never mind.
So,
by the way, I did try to play with it on my phone, and it's not mobile optimized. It's horrible. I'm just saying that now. It's better lister.
Hey, Corey. Good morning.
You're right. I was in the wrong one.
So Josh was live yesterday, and he was saying that it should be very imminent. They are working on the last couple of things.
I will try it though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to giving it a whirl. I really think just speeding the time. I'm looking forward. I hate listing on eBay, and I want that process to be much smoother and easier. And if that was smoother and easier, I think. So I'm going to do some stuff today to start. Josh, I'm trusting that you're going to be ready with this soon. So, like, I've got some Blu-rays and stuff I wanted to try listing just to see how that does. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the pictures of the Blu-rays today.
You can't even try text for free, as far as I can see.
No, you got to give him $50.
Yep, I'm not doing it
for 100 listings.
Nope.
$50 for think about that. $50 for 100 listings. Pico, a lot of people have done the same thing. I've heard that too.
Well,
I
I'm
don't
not
have
saying it's not
experience.
good, but I'm not going to. He needs to have a free 10 listing option like Josh does so that people can try it out. I'm not going to just give him $50 and hope for the best. That's not how that works with people like me. Some people will, you know.
Yeah, it's an interesting time. I think there's going to be a lot of competition in that space. There's going to be more than just these two.
Well, I'd like to compare the two, and you know, I know I've never spoken to Tech. I've spoken to Josh, but neither one of them I would consider their acquaintance. Or Josh would be an acquaintance, and Tech I don't know. So I would think I would have a more unbiased opinion of the program, and I'd like to test them both out. And I can't test one of them because it's going to cost me $50 to do it. So I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, there are a couple. I've seen a couple other ones here in hand that are same price. It's Josh said they were going to thinking about doing the 10 per, making it 10 per month instead of just 10 to try it. Just so people, because they figure people might use different emails and do different things to try to get the 10 or
Of course
whatever.
they will.
And
how are you going to know how it works? I mean, I think you have to have it free.
eBay is actively developing one. eBay's track record suggests that it's going to be a while.
eBay might, what I think Josh and maybe even Tech are hoping for is eventually they'll buy them out, and because the software is already developed, you know, that's or at least partially developed. I mean, if I could build a program and sell it.
So you said there's an easy lister and a list easier. Easy lister, look at theirs. Same
easy lister is something else, isn't it?
No, it's an AI, but it's also very expensive. Very, very expensive.
Can I make a suggestion to anybody else who's making one of these programs? Don't put the word lister in your title because it gets very confusing. We got what Tex is better lister, then we got list easier and easy lister, and quit putting that in your title.
Maybe go to eBay was offering you 4 different backgrounds this week.
Backgrounds? What do you mean?
I guess they're improving their background removal. Now you can add a background.
Oh, really? I haven't. Is that on mobile or is that on desktop? Because I've been using desktop mostly. List sillier.
Yeah, it was good to see you last night, Marcia. That was after a good time at Wing Night was a good night.
I'm just saying, Paul. Everybody calls them pretty much the same thing.
Hey.
And it gets confusing.
Hey, somebody time out Paul for a couple minutes just for his attacks. I raid trained into his raid train. I mean, I raided into his raid train, and Paul just attacks me. What the hell?
I know. I might have joined in with.
And
Paul.
you kind of ganged
Well,
up.
yeah, you interrupted my show, man. Texted me during the show just to make me throw me off my game. And that was the whole purpose of it too. That's the thing.
Can't say
you weren't doing it just to say, "Hey, Steve, what's going on?" You were in the show watching me, and I was getting a message from my son, and you thought it would be funny to send more messages. It's not. So, well, of course, I'm going to get on Paul's side.
So y'all need to keep up with Paul. So if you do Whatnot at all, so Paul, how many items did you sell? Paul went live for 24 freaking hours selling stuff on Whatnot.
Crazy shit. That's what I call that. I don't care how much money I make.
I tuned in before I went to bed the other night, and he was like 17 or 18 hours in, and it was just what's your name walking around. You could even see Paul. I'm like, is Paul like passed out somewhere? Is he so? I can't talk for that long. It's got to hurt. You got to have a sore throat. You got to.
Joe Hollywood does 48 hours sometimes. I haven't watched the whole 48, so I'm not sure if he's on the whole time, but holy Lord.
Paul pinned me up and talking about unsubscribe. Oh,
Did it work? Did people unsubscribe?
I don't know. I don't pay attention. He said his
doubt
voice
it.
is. I know your voice is gone, dude.
Mine be gone after maybe 8, maybe even less.
Because I mean, he's over. For those of you, he's over there trying. I think for his birthday, would you want to sell 2,200 items on your birthday? Yeah, the shipping has got to be insane. I mean, I understand you do tubs and that kind of stuff, but you still physically got to ship all those items. That's interesting to see. If you want to see somebody that Paul pushes the envelope and is not afraid to try different things. The good news is your garage is empty. Dan, I wish mine was empty. I need it. That's just
If
sheer
you could
crazy.
only see behind me. There's all that garbage. There's all that stuff.
Just finished shipping this morning. It's very nice.
All done already. Wow, that's pretty good for that kind of show. That many items. It takes me, after my average whatnot show, a couple hours to, because I'm only going for an hour and a half, sell maybe 70, 80 hats, and it still takes me a couple hours.
So selling in the vintage categories with Joni, I figure it's 15 minutes a customer, and so
sounds about right.
Because you got to bubble wrap everything. I mean, this is not.
My biggest issue, and one of the reasons I've saved up a bunch of vintage items for a show just like yours and Joni's or Jenny's, and but the shipping scares me on that, man.
Only 8K. Only 8K. That's a lot of craziness. Hey, Julie. Good morning.
I mean, I might be enticed to do 24 hours for 8K.
Once you build an audience up, if you're buying storage units, if you're doing that kind of thing, it's unlimited. So there's a couple that can't have me start watching them quite a while ago, and they buy storage units and just sell like other people, just sell right out of the storage unit. Sometimes they move it back. They have a thrift store, so sometimes they move it back into their thrift store. But they whatnot for them has been life changing, and they're buying even more units, and just whatever they pick up is what they run, and they keep 50 to 60, 70 people in there.
If I were doing it that way, I'd rent a dumpster, and whatever didn't run, it would go straight to dumpster, or whatever didn't sell, and just keep moving product. If I was doing storage units like that.
Can't also show other couple they go live from the bins, and only if something they think is a great piece they'll take with them, but everything else they take is sold. People selling from flea markets live. It's
hard to follow some of those people because the coverage tends to be spotty, but I understand why you would do it. And it's a good business plan if you can pull it off. You don't ever have to pay for anything if somebody didn't already pay you more.
Yeah, so Paul did the same thing.
Paul. Yep. Or you could have people who, donate some of it, put it out in a free pile at the curb, whatever.
But
we've donated tons and tons of shit over the years just because, it was either a bad buy or it just didn't sell right or it was broken or something. You'd throw it out or donate it. We have a yard sale, and we just give everything at the end of the yard sale. One lucky person gets it all, as much as they can fit in their car.
Yeah, she has a physical store, so she can run some of that stuff. But if it doesn't sell live, I don't know if putting it in the store and hoping and praying it. Maybe it's just an item that's too big.
Some things don't sell live, though. There's just some things that I've pulled some things from my whatnot that didn't sell and put them on eBay and it sold.
Hey, Paul, throwing stuff out doesn't make you a bad person. You do plenty of things on your own to make yourself a bad person.
I come raid Paul's dumpster.
You don't need to find something to blame it on. It's your personality that makes you a bad person.
Paul did inspire me this week though, because he did his plus show and he did pretty well. So I have a shit ton. And
He sells a
so
lot of plush, man. These guys
now
even got me looking
he's
for
got a
plush.
much bigger audience, and I know that, and he does much better than I do with it. But I'm
So,
learning which
so
ones to buy and
here's what
which
you
ones
do,
not
Steve.
to.
So I bought some 45 records
You
the
want
other
some
day.
plush, Paul?
I bought like 50 of them. So how do you overcome the fact that you don't have a big audience? Is you need to curate the show. You need to list the show and let it sit for a week, because
Yeah.
the thing on Whatnot is so many people have searches set up and search for items. If you've got it in your list for your show come up, they can find it, bookmark the item, pre-bid on the item without ever being there. And so I've got to get some pictures taken. We're supposed to do a salt and pepper show tonight, but it's not ready because I want it to sit for a week. And so I'm going to push it a week. I'm going to take pictures today, commit myself to taking all the pictures today. And if I get them pictures taken, Johnny would get them listed. So, and we've got maybe 50 or 60 pairs at this time. And some of them are really nice. There's three sets of Linux, which these are really, really nice. Um, but Don, good morning. Good morning. I think you need to get it up. Yeah, I bought some 45s, Don. You'd be proud of me.
With my hats, I don't need to pre-list. So
it was one container, one of the little square containers. It was $5. I'm like, all right, I'll take the whole thing for $5. There's some 60s, 70s, and 80s in there.
Yeah, with my hats, I don't need to pre-list, but with other things, I do, because people come to my shows because they know I sell hats. I mean, because it's what I've been doing for months now.
Right.
But
if you set up the show,
I sell other things.
But if you set up the show and give it a week or so, that's going to be my theory. I'm going to start testing.
I'll test that theory with plush
because I think that's the key. Is if, and Paul can tell me if I'm crazy wrong, but I don't think I am on this one. You've got it as a smaller seller and somebody newer, and I've sold a couple thousand items, so I'm not new to Whatnot. But I need to get it up so people can find it, because I still need. It's not the categories I've sold in, but I bought cheap, bought an opportunity. So Eric, I do not. So here's what you do, Eric. Go on the Whatnot. So Paul, a couple times a week, I think on Sundays, Paul, what days do you do your seller help? Man, if you've got any questions or anything,
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Paul goes live and just answers questions about from new people and how to do shows and things. It's a real benefit to the community. He doesn't have to do that, but he's it builds confidence in his audience. I'm sure he builds audience, but it helps out. He helps a ton of people with just answering questions and telling what best practices are and what you should do. I know you hate to agree with me, Paul. It's terrible. I'm right. Hell, a broken clock is right twice a day. Okay, so he usually does it every Tuesday and Thursday, but so you can also look in the categories you sell in. So there's ladies like in the vintage category. The other day I was listening to Unicorn Dust Designs. She does some help shows. And then Rusted Roots, I think that's her name, or Rust and Roots. She does some shows too. But so in your category, there are people that help whatever you want to sell. So find some people that know what they're doing. But I will start.
Also has a series of videos out too. I've never watched any. I don't even know how to find them, but
that's a good idea for a video. Maybe I'll video myself. It's really Eric. There's not a lot to it, dude. There is basically you're just going to go in and create the show, give it a title, give it a time and a date, pick the category, pick 3 keywords, and then you got to tell it it's an auction or buy it now, and you can put moderators in, and then you can put your thumbnail or a video if you want to make a 27-second video, and hit create, and it's going to put it on your schedule.
It's probably not that much different than DibDit, I'm guessing.
It's not. It's so the only difference is you don't have the shipping. You need to set up the shipping. You don't have any control over shipping like you do on DibDit.
Shipping is probably going to be the hardest learning curve for anybody.
Each show is its own entity. Whereas if I wanted to sell this week on DibDit, I could give you discounted shipping all week. that's one of the things Kevin does. He ships every Friday. So from Saturday to whatever he sells until he starts shipping, you've got discounted shipping, and most people over there do that. You can't do that, and then you can't co-host a show. Well, you can co-host a show, but all the stuff goes into the host. Whereas on Dibdit, they have the ability. If I jumped on a show with Kevin and sold some things, it would stay in my account and his account versus who sold it. So there are some features that are a little different. But audience size, once you build an audience and whatnot, the audience size will be bigger, and so there's more. I say there's more opportunity, but you can build a following on Kevin's on Dibdit too. So
it depends on how you work it. Either way, either platform.
Either platform, they're very similar.
I've found that lately on Whatnot, for example, and I'm sure Dibdit's the same way. If you come across, there's a lot of people on Whatnot that are not genuine, and they, they're doing it, and it's a job to them. And I talked to my wife this week, and people were coming to my show this week and said, and the last 2 weeks, they say, you're a genuine person. We can tell you're genuine, and that's why we're going to stick around and follow you.
Well, if they keep watching it, they'll figure that out, and they'll just skip on.
But no, I mean, you were in there. You saw that one comment this week, and that's the key to gaining a following of people who really trust you, is to be a genuine person and be consistent. I think Whatnot, you got to be consistent. If I just throw a show up every once in a while, and I'm not ever going to gain an audience. But if I'm consistent and do my hat show every Friday or every Sunday, everybody knows I'm going to be there.
Eric, make sure Kent knows when you have a show. He might buy a couple hats.
But
just
Friday,
don't forget
on Whatnot.
Yeah, don't forget Dibdit also has Kevin created the bulk site too, so you can sell things in bulk.
Anybody want to buy some bulk hats?
Which I don't forget which one that is, but Chernock goes for every Friday night, or is he still doing every Friday night? I would like to watch and buy from Chernock, but Chris, we're live on the internet. What the hell?
I may overbuy hats. I can't leave a nice looking hat behind. I have a problem, and so if anybody ever wants to buy a bulk lot of, they're probably not going to sell for a lot of money on eBay or something, but I got a bunch.
Yeah, it's Shop Commons. That's the bulk site over there. I can't be a walking billboard for Kevin. I have to forget some of this stuff, right? Yeah, but don't discount sites, because there is opportunity on District, because Mike, Storage Auction Pirate, has started BidSwipe over there, and he is rapidly building up. He has no plans to leave Whatnot or do that kind of things, but just a little bit different whenever you take the chance to be you the one to be in control. And so, Mike's starting over there. I thought about it, and in the very beginning, I talked to, I think what's his name? Ivan, I think is his name, who's the person that controls a lot of stuff over there. And I'm just not the outgoing person that's needed to push that kind of stuff.
Sorry, I've got Whatnot going on in the background. I was in Ohio.
So Corey's here, and they've created the dollar auction site. And if you read his comment, Corey's been very, very, very deliberate about what he uses it for. But others also go live on the dollar auction. He's just, once something has run its course. Yeah.
I think for me, consistency is the key, because if I'm not consistent with something, I will give it up really, really quick.
So Mike is starting his own. It's called BidSwipe.
Yeah. It's still through the District platform.
It's still through the District platform, but it's Kent, is it bid.swipe or is it just BidSwipe? I'll type it and see. If you just go to bidswipe.net, it'll take you right to it. Bidswipe.net, all one word.
I haven't tried it yet. I find District a little confusing. So
he's got 56 sellers over there now, and he's got 593 members, and it's only he's done some shows. His next show is on the 6th, and then he's got a bigger Whatnot seller coming over to do her first show. Inga is coming over.
Yeah.
Ingalon on Whatnot. She's a storage unit buyer. She's got her first show on the 6th as well. And I've seen her on I think on Instagram talking about it. But she's in most of Paul's raid trains on Sunday nights.
I've seen her in a few different raid trains for a few different people, but I've seen her on our standalone shows too, and I haven't really watched her much, but maybe I should. I watch a lot of Paul, even though I use the sneak in feature in most shows because I don't want people to know I'm there. I need to get more active on Whatnot. That is a big issue with me. I like to watch, but I'm sitting here and I don't type anything in the chats. I've been trying a little more, but
okay,
people
so Paul,
have no clue if you don't interact.
You're going to do one on BizSwipe as well the last Sunday in July. I got you.
That's cool. That is cool.
Yeah, Mike's a powerhouse on Whatnot, and a lot of people. He's helped a lot of people build. I know I think he helped Corey Mannix get a good foothold. So Mike's just a truly nice guy. So he's going to work hard to build that site. So you got to watch it.
Wow, I didn't know she was a lawyer.
Yeah, she's a lawyer.
Did you say a liar?
No, a lawyer.
It was just your accent. That's all. It's just the way it made it sound like you said she's a liar. That wasn't an insult or anything. Full-time lawyer still clears 100K on Whatnot. That's in 90 days. That's crazy.
Buying storage units, yeah.
I wish, man, if we could turn back the clock, I would have stayed with Whatnot when I first got on it, because right now it's not a life-changing thing for me, but it sure helps pay the bills once a week when I do a show. If I didn't have it, I would be behind right now.
And so many people have discounted and talked negatively about Whatnot, and if you can buy right, you can make money anywhere. And the fast turn, just to not store and to get rid of stuff, is a viable option. I mean, you don't think so? You just got to look at Walmart for your answer.
I use a little bit of AI, Kent, but you're right. I jumped on GPT when it first started, and then gave up on it. And then I started using it to build software. I built one piece of software and I gave up on it. That's my thing. If I'm not consistent with something, I won't continue with it. That's why I have to have consistent Whatnot shows, or else I will quit doing them.
I meant to watch. I keep forgetting to watch Kristen. I guess I'm about to set a reminder on my phone. She's a wonderful.
I seen her. She was on, but I couldn't watch her because I was doing something else at the time. But
yeah, but it's all. Everybody has that. Ask Paul. Paul tell you the same thing. Paul's got a big following, but I can't imagine his first shows where he walked over there and was a superstar. I mean, he had to convince people of his personality disorder before they started following him.
My very first show on Whatnot was pretty decent, but that was a couple years ago. My reboot show, the very first one I did, sucked. I barely made any money. I spent a lot of money, but I didn't make any. But they're getting better, and I'm making more consistent money now.
Okay, so
because people know what I'm selling and come back.
You want to know what I think is the biggest difference between Whatnot and District, and that would be Dibdit as well. All the different. I'm just not going to single Kevin out of it. It's all the Whatnot is its own platform. You're still trying to convince them. I'd say you're winning on this one. Is Whatnot is its own entity, and so Whatnot is advertising. I see Whatnot advertising, and it's easy to when I'm out and about to tell people, hey, I do sell on Whatnot, and they go, "What is that?" And so you explain to them what it is. It's very easy to explain what district is, and it's a site-owned district, and it's a platform that's not going to advertise because they only want to be the back of the house. And so all the growth is going to be based on the people on the platform to their own individual sites. Is going to be a much slower. It might make it, but it's a much slower build. Whereas Whatnot is an entity of its own, a platform, a social media platform, and it's much easier for people to get on and navigate versus having to go from market to market to market. And
Can't believe I'm about to say this, but like you earlier, I agree with Kent. The first three shows are a learning process. It's for learning. I did shows, silly shows, CDs. I knew, or DVDs. I knew that DVDs don't sell that well for a small person on Whatnot, but I did them on purpose just to get an idea how the back end worked.
I mean,
What else did I do? There was a couple
Eric,
things I did.
this is not that I'm saying anything bad about Kevin or Mike or any of the guys. Uh, Pete, um, hell, look at it's smart for some of those folks. Look at Crazy Lamp like Jocelyn. She's doing very well over there. So it was very smart for her to go that direction. Um, with her huge audience and and glass, and she's the largest district over there. Jocelyn is killing over there. It's not that there's not opportunity over there. I just think in the long run for most smaller sellers, um, you're not Kevin. You don't have the audience. I'm not Kevin. I don't have the audience. I don't. You've got to put so much work to it to just build. Whereas you can build an audience on Whatnot much faster and just concentrate on buying and selling, and that's it. Um,
You gonna start up having more consistent shows again, Scott? Or?
I am. My biggest thing is I got to come up with a schedule on how to divide things because I want to go more and more Whatnot, but it's hard to just flip the switch when you've got so much
Yeah.
eBay inventory that needs to be sold and needs to be listed. And so I've got to dedicate and because I've told you guys for years and years the hardest thing you ever do is try to get run two platforms, and it's very very difficult. And so I need to be more intentional with my schedule and when I do things. Um,
I mean, we had a kind of a discussion like that. Time management is my issue. It's really bad because we source for 4 out of the 7 days a week. We're outsourcing for hats and whatnot, or eBay inventory and whatnot inventory. And when do you list? And so I'll sit here for 4 hours of a night watching YouTube videos, not listing. Well, that has to change. I have to work at night because if I want to make money, instead of all this inventory sitting, you can't see it, but there's a shit ton. There's stuff upstairs, there's stuff downstairs. I got to get it moving, and that it's time management for me.
that's a
Yeah, I mean, can't disagree with the numbers there.
yeah, Jay, right. I fired everybody else.
I don't know how I made the cut. Todd doesn't even talk. He just sits there and shows his hands all day.
Yeah, I think Grumpy is probably getting ready for a cruise. They leave Friday or tomorrow, Thursday, Friday. Uh, Todd was doing something, taking somebody somewhere, doing something like that. Can't remember what it was. Uh, Tom is probably telling somebody to get off his lawn, for God's sakes. Um,
Hey, John the Automator says he's stuck with the days that he sold most on Whatnot, and for him it was Thursday. I found with my hats, Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock is the best time. I've tried it different days, and those shows just flop for me. And I figured Sunday people are home. I know some of you guys are watching the game or a game or whatever, but you can keep me on while you're watching the game and you see a hat that comes up that you want. Now, I don't want to be known as just a hat seller on Whatnot. Right now, that's what I'm selling, but
Yeah,
but people know when I'm on, so they schedule it.
So right now I'm gonna blame it on Josh, because if I had an AI lister, Josh, I'd be much faster on eBay, and therefore I could get my whatnot things listed. So there you go.
Well, I hear Tekkens is out already, so spend the $50.
Like I said, I'm waiting on Josh. It's all Josh's fault. Eric, it's gonna be real hard to find Steve on whatnot. Steve Alcorn on whatnot.
Yeah, just underscore in the middle of that. Steve underscore Alcorn. That's it. I was gonna do Slick Toys, but I'm thinking about changing that name anyway. Changing my LLC to something else. So we'll see. It's still all the money goes to the same place. It's okay.
But I think that's the one strength behind all people that are successful people, is their time management is a strength. The more you can get out of the same time, unless you just want to come on here and tell people that you do all kinds of things, and people start adding it up, and wait a minute, I go, that would have taken 36 hours to do that. Okay. Just a point. It's just strange. Just strange. So does anybody have any exciting plans for the 4th of July?
There, I fixed it. There's my whatnot name.
Jennifer put a link up, so that was really nice.
Thank you, Jennifer. We will be having a Christmas in July coming up. I got to get that one preloaded. There's a lot of crap. We're going to have, of course, we have hat shows every Sunday at 4 Eastern. We're going to have a vintage show here coming up pretty soon. I got to get that one preloaded. And sell plush every once in a while. Webkins mostly, and Douglas.
Okay, so Marcia just sent me a picture. So she's got the shoes, but it took the background out of the shoes, and it's asking her, you can do white. Now there's That's 3 other choices. A surface, or on outside, or like a studio.
And is that just a mobile app though? I'm guessing.
I don't know, Marcia, are you doing that on mobile or on a desktop?
I'm gonna go try to edit one and see.
Respond to offer. It is $12.86, and they want it at $9.
Yeah, it must just be mobile, because on desktop I'm not getting that option. I went to Dollar Tree a while back when I was doing sublimation printing, and I bought a piece of carpet because I was going to try to sublimate on this piece of carpet.
So Jen says it's mobile, so.
Yeah, it's definitely just mobile. Anyway, so now all my pictures are in this nice piece of carpet with the cream wall in the background, and it looked pretty good. So I'm not removing my backgrounds for most things right now. But
yeah, so here's one of the Eric, I applied for eBay Live, and eBay said, we'll be back with you in 5 days.
Same here.
Crickets.
I haven't heard anybody who's applied. There was a discussion in one of the Facebook groups about people applying, and nobody's gotten in.
Have you been on one of the shows that Todd or Tom is having, and ping comes on and you can hear a cricket? That's the only sound I've heard.
Kent, you can remove the background on computer, but you can't choose a different one. That's what I was wondering.
And so one of the other big differences, I think, between is with a lot of, like, especially with Kevin and some, if your people are coming over from eBay to YouTube to follow you over there, remember, eBay audiences tend to skew older. I mean, I don't think there's too many young people, and appreciate all 99 of you guys watching and participating in chat. Thank you so much.
Who watching is in their 20s? That's what I want.
Yeah, is there anybody in the chat in their 20s, for God's sakes?
There's got to be one. Me, besides me.
I realize Paul is still in his 30s.
Am I the seagull?
Yes, Steve is the seagull. He's usually shitting on.
Look.
He's probably shitting on me right now. Oh, J
Oh,
Rod's in
shit
it.
on you.
J
I only
Rod,
did it
you're a
once.
different animal, dude. You're a hustler. I got mad.
It's funny because I live right on Lake Erie and we have a shit ton of them rats in the sky.
Keith, if you're 21, I'll get in a rowboat and start rowing now to England to kiss your ass in person. Jen says she was in her 20s.
Yeah.
Was that in the 90s, Jen? See, so the problem is
I can't
is
even make my numbers backwards and still be in my 20s. I'd be 35.
You have an experience of people that are following it. It's going to skew much older. And holy hell. Did you just wake up, old man?
What's up?
I know you, but you just couldn't tear yourself away from all the listing you were doing.
No, we took Daphne in to get spayed.
That's right. I knew you were doing something. I couldn't remember what it
I
was.
hope Daphne is an animal.
Daphne's not your mother-in-law's name, is it?
Oh no, no, she mother-in-law might be beyond childbearing years anyway, but
Um,
I don't have
Keep
any
an eye on
proof
that.
of that.
yeah. So and then, but the whatnot age skews much younger, and the audience in whatnot is much younger than the eBay buying public, and it's just a different experience. You know, they embrace the um, you've got you've got to be a little more social over there. You've got to speak to people, remember names. Okay, so there's cheat sheets and things to do it. I'm not the greatest at remembering names, but every time somebody buys something from me, I have a little sheet that I print out every week,
I
and
got to
so
start doing that.
you can remember, you can look over there and see who in the chat and remember who they are. You know, it's
I'm horrible
personal
at it.
things that you can do. Daryl, what's up, man? Welcome to the chat. Larry, Daryl, whatever name I'm gonna call you this week, Doug.
See you get me confused because you call him 6 different things, so I never know.
You know, so a lot of the shows, Joni didn't. She was not feeling great when I was shipping the other day, so she didn't get to it. But about every other show, she includes a note with them, personally thanking people for buying in her show. Um, there's lots of things you can do on the social side versus some of these other sites.
I added a special gift for all my new buyers on the Plus show this time.
No, it definitely, Paul. It definitely is. The more somebody comes in a show, it is much easier. But it's man, some of the usernames are so crazy. You go, it's hard. Was I talking to Chat Steve or the hand?
Uh-huh.
Who is Chat Steve?
I must be Chat Steve.
Oh, Eric, that's a pretty good one there. There's all kinds of things you can do like that. Really the sky. It's your imagination. For the most part, the rules are, you can do things to make more the social aspect of whatnot, or dibbed it and without breaking any rules.
I think it's also important when you get a new buyer to hey, we got a new buyer, mention it if you can, if you see it. And a lot of times I'll know if they're bidding on something and I haven't seen that name before, I'll know.
I need a beard emoji so they can put beards in the chat. Paul does pizzas.
I'm sure there's a beard emoji.
Is there?
Here, I'm on Noah Baller right now. Let's see if there's a beard emoji. How do I find it?
Yeah, and Jennifer started, telling people she said her favorite emoji was the red heart.
There are beard emojis, but they're not. You wouldn't want them. Oh man, they're so funny looking. They're all blonde. All the guys' beards are all blonde, and then there's a woman with a beard. That's the beard emojis.
A woman with a beard.
Oh yeah, go on Whatnot right now or anywhere that you get emojis and type in beard in the search.
Yeah, that'd go over well, Ken. Everybody put bearded clams in the chat. First time buyer, that'd go over real well. That would. I start getting messages for whatnot. Please take a couple days off to think about what you're doing.
I just happen to have whatnot up on my screen, Javis.
Yeah, Derek, that hasn't been the first time someone said that.
I'm trying to win something. I'm what do you call those giveaway goblins? My wife now has won 2 iPads, and one was a brand new one from Halftime Deals, and the other one was it just came up as tablet when she won it, so we thought we were going to get like an ONN Walmart tablet or something. No, she got a 7th gen iPad. 7th gen isn't too bad. I mean, it's 2019, but it's still a workable machine.
Yeah, that's the last one before the M chips, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I'm using. Well, I have my 6th gen in the office here, and my 7th gen is my
old
right
iPad Air is struggling. It plays music, and that's about it. It's really
well, a lot of these whatnotters, when they say they're giving away an iPad, that's what they're giving away is something that's not updatable anymore. It's old. But this guy, man, Halftime Sports gives away some decent stuff. Halftime Sports, Halftime Deals is the same guys. They're fun to watch. But I'm watching Noah Baller right now, so
yeah. The bat. Those of you who don't update phones as frequently, this is the first time I almost do one every year, and you get spoiled with the battery life. My battery life on this phone is down to 84%, and it's not it's not 2 years old yet. It's a significant. I have to charge this thing. I've had to start charging this thing in the daytime. I'm like, really? I'm definitely going to be getting rid of, leaning toward Android again. Lord have mercy.
What?
I
might have to quit this show. Actually, no. I agree with you. Android sometimes I think about it. Before I bought this 16, I almost switched to Android.
So if I ask Siri a question, Siri will go, "Do you want me to use ChatGPT for that?" Or it'll give me some website. If I asked my old Samsung 21, if it asks it something, it comes back and tells you the answer. It goes and figures it out because the AI is so much better integrated in those phones that it
Siri's
can do.
Always been not as good as, say, Alexa. I have 2 Alexa devices in here now. I bought at the Goodwill bins. I found an Echo Show 8, which is still a $50. If you were to resell it on eBay. And
JT, it's absolutely amazing, dude. That people use that older stuff. I sold a Sony Walkman the other day for $40.
You want to talk about outdated? My wife is still using the iPod with the big roller wheel on it with the 160 gig one. Yeah, she finally switched to a new one that she found at a yard sale that was the same thing.
Yeah.
No, we found it at a resale shop.
Jen, please stop making sense. I don't replace the battery for $100. It's a lot. There's nothing wrong with that iPhone. Mine still is fine. It's still really
Todd's
fast.
desk, Roman.
Don't have any issues, but I hate having to.
Roman, if I were to switch desks, it would be a standing desk. I need a standing desk.
So, JT, what topic was that? Oh, people using old electronics.
Old electronics is money. Some of them. It's money. That iPod my wife uses, you can't buy it cheap. It's expensive.
All right, you're going to be sold for parts. You don't work. I'm plugging up these old.
I've been selling a lot more things for parts lately instead of holding on to them, thinking I'm going to fix them. And I sold a Zebra.
Yeah, I think this is an iPod. I don't know what version it is, but I think it's got a battery issue because you can see what it's not. See, that side is flush, and that side is popped up a little bit. I think the battery is swole.
It's probably not super hard to change that battery, but is it worth doing?
No, it's not worth my time. It just needs to go away.
That's where I'm at with things. Is it worth me trying now? my son brought me over a Nintendo Switch Lite to fix. It needed a new screen, and I broke the thing in the process. So instead of him getting a nice Nintendo Switch, we had to sell it
All
for
right, so
parts on
let's see
eBay for $50.
how much to
So
how much to replace iPhone 115 Pro Max battery.
the battery's probably really cheap aftermarket.
iPhone
To fix
battery
it,
replacement. How much is it? Um, Apple's cost out of warranty $99.
yeah.
There's a
What
company
is it?
called.
I mean, if you could repair that yourself, and the battery was $5, and you knew
No,
you had the knowledge to,
I fix it'll say you everything to do it for $60. You know how bad I would screw that phone up? That's worth the $40 for me to hand it to the people at the iPhone store at the Apple store and say, put a new battery in this.
is it worth it though? Are you going to get a benefit from resale value on that if that's what you're using
Um,
it for?
so the difference, Steve, is I'd keep the phone for another year.
Well,
Is it
yeah.
worth
I
it's
mean,
worth investing $100 in a phone to keep it for another year and have it
well,
function
yeah.
the way it used to versus because my battery is I think I'm at like 84%.
If I were to keep my iPhone 12, I would have had to replace the battery because that thing drains quickly. But instead of doing that, I got the new phone, and then now I'm using the 12 to run my whatnot shows because I can leave it. I just have it on one of those magnetic
So
chargers.
it's got 544 charge cycles on it. I don't know what the normal.
I have
Uh,
no idea.
I don't know. Let's ask.
Average. Traded an iPad 10th gen for an M1 MacBook Air. I'd love to have an M anything MacBook right now,
Yeah, I got one of
or
those.
even an iMac. I bought the last iMac. I didn't. They hadn't announced the M1 chip yet,
It
and so
says
I
that
have the 2019.
the iPhone is designed to retain up to 80% of its original battery capacity after completing 1,000 charge cycles. That means there's no way in hell I'm at 544 at 84%. There's no way in hell it'll get to 1,000.
Eric, I'd buy it from you, but I ain't got a whole lot of extra cash right now. You have an iPhone 6, Glenn? Holy Lord. Does that thing even still work?
Oh my god. So I do have the Mac Mini here. You should have bought one when I did. Costco had them on sale for $4.99.
I just didn't have the money.
Yeah.
You know, we took 2 years off of reselling, and then she got injured in the car accident, and she got deactivated from Spark. We quit Spark, and we're trying to rebuild the reselling business, and it just came to a point where we just didn't have. You know, we're still in the rebuilding process, and we're finally starting to see some gains that we can pay. You know, have extra money instead of just paying the bills right now. So we're
Yeah,
getting there, but I just didn't have the money to buy one.
yeah, it's a good one. Steve. I just got the base 256 because I connected this to it, a terabyte hard drive. Then I run the YouTube. I make all the YouTube videos because the biggest thing that would eat it up is if you're using Final Cut Pro, it would wipe out a hard drive pretty quick. So I've got that, and I found
Yeah,
I've got
no, but
another.
I'm just this computer. You know, I'm still using the 2019 iMac, and I upgraded it right at the beginning to 32 gig, and I've upgraded it to an SSD inside instead of the whatever that hard drive thing they had in there before. So this thing runs really good. I can use Final Cut Pro on here no problem. So I don't
Yeah,
need to
so I've
upgrade
got the
right
same
now.
thing.
I'd love to, but I don't need to.
That laptop behind me is a last i. It's an i9. It's got 32
Yeah,
gig of
this is an
RAM.
i9.
It's still it. The problem is if I'm doing a video, to export the video was like a 4 gig video was taking an hour just to get it to where I can upload it.
That would be the difference right there.
It with this computer here, I did one this morning. It was like 11 minutes, 10 or 11 minutes. It was done with a 4.6 gig video.
Oh, I understand lag. I would see the difference, and I know that. But right now, all I do on this computer is watch YouTube videos and list on eBay. So I don't need anything more. I do some designing for 3D printing and the laser. And unless Inkscape works better on an M1 than it does on this thing, I wouldn't need to change. And so for Inkscape, I just use an old Windows 10 computer I have laying around. So I don't really need anything, and there's no reason I need to spend the money right now.
I've been looking at
I
these.
would love to, though.
Ken will tell you I've been looking at these and wanting to pull the trigger, but not wanting to spend the money. And man, when they were $100 off, I'm like, man, it's hard to pass on a computer that's been out. What's up, John? How you doing, man?
Ron, how you doing?
I love investing into my business. That's why I just bought a 3D printer. That's part of the reason I just bought the P1S, Bamboo Lab P1S. So I love doing it, but I need to do it in smart ways instead of.
See, if I had something like that,
it'd be I'm not going to upgrade.
It would be a.
Are you playing an old record in the background or something, John?
No.
Oh,
is that my?
Can you hear? Can everybody hear that?
Nope.
Jennifer can hear it. It sounds like when the record gets to the end of the
No,
record.
I'm muting my
No, it's not John.
Guess who? Mr. I'm so loud all the time. That's who's doing it.
Who? Todd?
Todd's shipping. He's eating. He's banging shit.
What did I do?
You got a record playing in the
You got terrible feedback coming back from your microphone. It's
Really?
like you're rubbing it up and down your face.
No, it literally was sounding like when the record gets to the end and the needle's just running in the groove there.
Yeah.
That brings back a lot of memories.
There it goes. Whatever you did. Oh, he muted it. That's what he did.
He acts like I'm mean to him.
Perfect now, Todd.
Yeah. We're not mean to you, Todd. You're a distraction. What the hell?
Todd. Poor Todd.
Anyway, so I bought the new Bamboo Lab printer because I have a lot of things that I've already designed that I can't print on this old one, and I want to be able to, my box.
And now you're about to have to listen to him eat looks like French toast.
Well, we don't have to listen to it, but we have to watch it. Oh, I'm watching a Whatnotter, and I was watching a Whatnotter the other day, and they're a new Whatnotter. They're called Stellar Liquidations. They give away shit like crazy. So we were watching. They had 3 giveaway shows, but to enjoy the giveaways, you had to watch this lady mukbang the whole time, or dance. It was crazy. She was just stuffing food into her mouth, live on camera on Whatnot. Why would you do that?
Kenneth says, sorry, I can't find that page.
Well, I'm missing some of the chat.
Kenneth put something in there. Something from Ulanzi, but you're going to have to text me the link because sometimes, yeah, I couldn't. I mean, I know 3D printers are gonna. That's something I have to learn, and it would take a lot of time. I don't have the extra time to.
There's a lot of things you can do with them that you don't have to learn anything, especially the Bamboo Labs. But I prefer to learn how to make my own thing. And I'm not expecting to make a lot of money with it, but there's some things that I've come up with that has some parts I can make for the Volkswagen and things like that. That's why I'm doing it.
Ulanzi QTO.
Comes tomorrow, by the way, so I got to get this office cleaned today.
Okay, so yeah, but I think
you can't copy anything from this chat. You have to do it on YouTube. Cha-ching. Who's cha-ching?
Oh.
It's not
We're
Todd.
rolling.
I only sold one item yesterday. That was a crazy slow day. But it was a Magic the Gathering card for $28. Harbor's Hope, or Ron, I still do have my overpriced laser. It's sitting right here. I'm actually working on some local stuff. There's a beach shop down the road that sells souvenirs from our town.
And not to mention, I can't have an older. How long can I go with an older phone than John? For God's sake!
So I'm making these for them.
There's nothing great about this phone.
I like having these types of things. I love this stuff.
Yeah, I don't. The 15 to the 16. I don't think there's enough different. I couldn't figure out enough difference to upgrade, unless you were having physical problems with yours. And if the 17 comes out and it's looking more and more like there's not going to be great differences either, I will do the. I'll either get the Galaxy the S26, or I will put a battery in this one for $100 and use it for another year.
Sutter, yes, we're back to full time.
Well, we changed carriers, so that's why we did it.
It's been a little bit of a struggle going back to full time, but we're doing it, and I don't want to look back. Yeah, I don't want to go back to delivery. That sucks.
Well, that's the other thing too, is I would like to, and maybe that's what I do, because our phone bill is ridiculous, and maybe I finish paying these phones off, because you can, and use them put a battery in and use both of our phones for $200, and then use them for a couple, because US Mobile, you can pick the Verizon towers, and unlimited is $25 a month.
That's cheap.
Their max super duper max plan is only like $44 a month, and that's including taxes and everything. So Joni and I can have phones for under $100.
What is with lag today? He's not being funny. He's being constructive and helpful. What the hell? Who took over your account?
That might be a shared account. That may be someone different every day.
I want to know who took over his account.
Ron, our phone bill is like $330 a month.
We did that. Lag says to do the plan where you get the new phone every year. We did that, but man, it gets expensive. You never stop paying for it.
So that's the trick. You never stop paying for it, and there's not enough of a difference in these phones. What is it going to get me? It still takes great pictures. It's still fast. I mean, if Dave was on here, Dave would tell you his iPhone 12 is still amazing. There's nothing.
My iPhone 12 is great.
It just needs a battery. Dave's is down in the 70s, low 70s. It needs a battery.
If you watch any one of my Whatnot shows, it's always been done with my iPhone 12. Always.
Ron, $627 a month. There's an AT&T or whoever you have service with. Did they come by once a month and give you some private time or something?
I got a special rep.
When we were going through our financial difficulties, we kept the same iPhone through that whole thing, even though we needed to upgrade, because we didn't need the extra expense of buying a new phone.
I mean, look at the iPhone. The iPhone 11 is still supported with this latest operating system. The difference with the 15 to the 14 too is the 15 has the logic chip built in, so it'll get all the AI updates. There's nothing it won't get the next few years.
Silicone Shadows.
Somebody want to hear Silicone Shadows?
Silicone Shadows.
Bar in my brain, eBay's looking twisted, nothing feels the same, margins bleed like oil, my listings disappear, AI scans my soul, whispering in my ear, Silicon shadows, taking control.
There you
I have
I'd
to
play
admit,
it all
it is a
day.
catchy song.
So I have not used Apple. See, I would like to be able to do more things on the phone.
I would like to use Apple Intelligence if it actually existed.
But there is no such thing as Apple Intelligence. It's Apple Unintelligence. They should be sued into oblivion for the crap they announce and the shit they got people to buy iPhone 16s for. That none of it's ready.
Luckily, I didn't buy the iPhone 16
It's not even
for
going to be
the
ready
Apple
for. It's
Intelligence.
not going to be ready for the next one, whatever they call it.
I bought
Ron,
the
why
iPhone
do you have
16 because I
6
needed a
phones?
new phone.
Josh,
6
we've been talking
phones?
bad about you this morning. Have your ears been burning? I had to list these by myself yesterday. I sold 2 of them, Josh. If you would have helped me out, I could have probably sold all of them. But I only sold 2 because I'm a terrible lister.
This is silicone shadow.
Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff lined up to use that tool, waiting for it.
I'm telling
We
you,
need
John
it
and I
now.
should be beta testers. You can give us limited categories. We'll go.
Yeah.
Make that
We-
3 beta testers.
We promise to be nice. We won't be mean.
And I only report back to you. I won't even put it on the internet.
Soon, I know. Does soon mean something different in Canada than it does in the U.S.?
It must.
Yeah. Thanks, Kent. Appreciate that.
I got a shit ton of DVDs and stuff upstairs. I'd love to try that program with.
No, we're definitely gonna give it a roll because I'm very excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be really good.
I still have noise.
Yep.
Not like it was.
I don't
A
hear it.
little bit less.
Canada's on island time. Well, there you go. You should have told us that ahead of time. Yeah, you can hear just a little bit. I don't know.
It's in my ears, so I can hear it pretty good, but it's not as bad as it was.
That's weird. Let me unplug it and plug it back in.
That's what it sounds. That's what it does sound like. It sounds like either it's not plugged all the way in or it's turning the input's turning.
Get some deoxit in there. It sounds like when you turn a volume knob and it's
spray some of that in there.
That's great. That'll work.
Still doing it?
Yeah, that stuff's expensive. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like $23 a can.
It sounds like a well, yeah, but it's very. You don't have to use very much.
And I've had the same can I've had the same can for a couple 4 years, 5 years.
I use the electronics spray you get in the automotive department at Walmart, and it works great. So red and white can. Do I have it around here? It's in my other thing over there. It's not as good as deoxit, I'm sure, but. I'm not hearing it as much now, Todd.
Okay.
Only when you move around.
Yeah, it's only when you move. So sit perfectly still.
That's my chair.
No. Whatever you did, you fixed it.
Okay.
See, we can account for one of his hands, but I'm not sure what the hell's happened with the other
We don't want to know.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to know.
Scratching my ass.
That could have been it.
Could have been, but we don't want to know.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to know. Yeah, it's not funny if you don't mess with Josh. He got his teeth fixed. His nose doesn't look as swollen anymore. We got to find something else. Whatever he did there, that was loud. Just gonna sit here for the rest of the show and tell Todd everything he does is loud. I had a thought and it just escaped me. What the hell? But there's lots of.
That happens to me 73 times a day.
I know, right? It's happening more and more. I'm like, what the hell? So are you actually having a live show Friday night, John? On the 4th?
I think I am. Yeah.
Live show where?
And it's like I don't want to go to LA. I'm trying to get my kids out here actually. So if we do, it'll be a brief show.
How far a drive is that for you?
So you said I could put mine
LA?
an hour. I could put mine an hour earlier. Is that what you're saying? You're not going to go the full 2 hours?
Yeah, you can do that. I mean, I don't think like what hour and a half max. I just don't
Because
see.
I was gonna try to run a whatnot show Thursday, Friday night after the live.
Yeah. Okay.
And yeah, that'll help.
I might change mine to Saturday night. The Magic the Gathering show. If you
There's gonna be a lot of people that are just not
going
going to be around. A lot of people are going to be gone on Friday night, Friday evening.
Maybe I'll do it Friday. Oh no, if you're running Friday night, I won't go Friday night.
Yeah, I was gonna do it. If we do live from 6 to 8, then go 8 to 9:30 Central Time. Either that, or I was gonna do it in the afternoon before John's show. One or the other.
I might just do that show right in here.
Yes, Josh.
I'm a little nervous about doing a Magic the Gathering show because I know nothing about Magic the Gathering.
I don't
So
either.
I looked up a bunch of cards on TCG Player.
Yeah, but it's not
anything that came
I'll
out
help
over
you
a
with that.
dollar. Anything that came out over $1 is going to be in that show.
So I know a lot of people use that, but I would think you'd be better off if you had the paid Chat GPT, because it would give you better data. Because the one thing about using the card app is it has a hard time telling like a special version, or you know what I mean.
It doesn't tell you if it's a foil.
Yeah, it has a hard time identifying. Whereas
it identifies Magic cards way better than it does Pokemon cards. I can tell you that. So I don't care. I paid $9 for all of them, and I just sold one card on eBay for $28, and I have one listed for $125. So
what, Eric? So what made the store below standard? Is that something that you can get fixed? There's ways to do things depending on what it is. Because if you have a new store, I hope you figured out whatever made the other one so the new store doesn't follow the same path.
And be careful having two stores. If something gets shut down on that one because it's below standard, they'll go by IP and shut them both down.
You can fix it over time with shipping.
Yeah, you can fix the problem if it's.
Yeah, if your pain point is getting your items shipped out, then you need to change it to 2 to 3 days handling time.
Sell a bunch of shit and ship it quickly.
Yeah, sell cheap items that can.
Yeah. I probably got 500 Magic cards for this show. I'm not going to run them all, obviously.
I mean, and you do smart things like I do. I have 2 days handling. I'd say 70% of my items go out in 1 day, but like I have 2 big ones that a crock pot and a printer that got to go out today. I forgot to pick them up at the building, but I'm under no pressure because I had the second day, so they're going out today. I don't take some of the pressure off. If I've got a lot of whatnot shipping and I've got some eBay stuff. Like Monday, I had whatnot and eBay shipping. There was no pressure. I had one eBay item that had to go out, and so it just takes the pressure off. I don't see that any difference in sales.
Sunday night I did all my whatnot shipping because I had my show Sunday afternoon, and then Monday morning I did all my weekend eBay shipping, and it worked out really easily, really well for me.
I know here's going to be a shock for most people, but if you sales for the weekend, you do not have to wait till Monday to do the shipping.
You don't have to. Nope. It's just because we source all weekend that I've been doing it on Monday mornings because that's when I'm home.
And if you got free time on a Sunday night and you want to get ahead, that is a great idea. I know, John, don't y'all do some shipping on Sunday?
I used
Only
to
if
do
we
it.
have a ton. Only if we have a ton over the weekend that we want to get to. Like this last weekend, we didn't do that, and Jenna spent a solid 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours out there doing shipping, and she regretted it. She would have done the shipping Sunday night if she would have thought about it.
I agree, JT.
Eric, are you going to leave items in the old store so that it will balance out? Because you have to bring that above, below standard. So you have to be selling stuff and fixing your problems.
So I would, anything that you had that's a better item, you're better off, better selling stuff, I would definitely put on the newer store. The problem with new store is you've got to build the capacity and feedback and those things. The one thing you can do with that is if you're buying on eBay, buy through the new store so you can get feedback, because people look at it, and if it's a lower number of feedback, they don't look at the feedback to see, they see a number. They don't see whether it's buying or selling. They don't look through all that.
Shit, I don't even think half buyers look at the number at all. I watch a lot of people on YouTube. I got scammed on eBay, and then you go back and look at who they bought from, and they had a 87% feedback rating, that kind of thing. And you didn't get scammed. You didn't do your research is what you didn't do. You didn't look in far enough. I always look at feedback, and I look at review. And even on Amazon, when you look at reviews, a lot of those are fake. So you got to be careful there too. But it's pretty easy to spot fake ones, but do your research before you buy and you should be okay. But I don't think people look at the feedback score that much.
Some do.
Unless I'm a reseller, so that's one of the things I know that is something you need to look at, Some do, though. You're right.
If as a buyer, if I go on there and find that someone has some sketchy feedback, I'll think twice about buying from that person.
I won't buy unless they're in the 99 or above usually, because it depends on how many. If you have an 87% feedback and you've sold 20,000 items, that's pretty shitty reputation. That's pretty shitty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's a lot of bad feedbacks.
But I've seen a lot of accounts where they've had nothing but like every third feedback is a negative, and they're making a ton of money on eBay, making a lot of sales.
They are.
So because of that, they don't care. They don't improve.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't think a lot of customers look at the feedback before they buy. Obviously, they're thinking about it after they buy.
Reseller Express, you're 100% correct. There are a lot of sellers that need to learn how to ship. They don't ship. We beat that with a dead horse. To the fact that John has a package back there. Somebody made him cereal boxes and all kinds of fun stuff.
Jovial made this for us. Jovial.
Yeah. Rhonda made that.
She set her toilet seat in this. She shouldn't feel that way.
By the way, there's a local eBay seller in my town, and I've been watching them ship things for a while now. And they use cereal boxes, and they use the granola bar boxes, and I'm like, they can't last long doing that stuff. That's crap. That's crap shipping. Those boxes are not made to ship things.
They are not.
She's a clothing seller, so things are not going to get damaged. But man, what if somebody has a nut allergy and you shipped it in a box that had nuts or something?
Well, my initial thought on this whole thing is let them keep shipping it that way. When they finally get my package, they'll see, wow, this is a lot different, and I won't get a negative for, maybe they'll be more forgiving if something goes wrong. But then I think about, these are our customers. So if someone ships them something in a cereal box, they're not happy with the experience. They may never come back to buy my item. So
right, I've never seen this woman drop it off, so I haven't had a chance to speak to her about it. Not that I would.
How do you know as a woman? Are you assuming her gender?
No, that I asked at the post office because I saw the stuff. I'm like, who the hell's shipping that? Oh, she brings that stuff in like that all the time, so I know it's a woman.
In an indirect way, eBay has kind of put the onus on us to retain their customer base.
Geez,
You
even
know.
my plush show on Sunday, I shipped a couple in poly mailers, but I didn't like doing it. I felt like I was doing something wrong because I want them to have a good experience.
This is why eBay needs to have an onboarding process like Whatnot. You go through a 30-minute session. You got to answer like 5 questions to make sure you actually watch the presentation, so that you're aware that you shouldn't be shipping in cereal boxes. Here's here's the best practices that you need to do to keep customers happy. That's what eBay should be doing. Whatnot. I think Whatnot has really set a good example for that.
So lag. I agree. Damn, I'm agreeing with lag today. What the? It really it makes you think twice because of these people and their reputation and how they ship. Order it on eBay. On Amazon, that ain't going to happen because they're going to lose their accounts pretty quick. A couple of complaints and they're gone. But on eBay, man, they can continue to get away with this stuff and chase people off the platform. It shouldn't be that way when I get stuff and I order from eBay and it comes like it's supposed to, that I'm pleasantly surprised.
Mm-hmm.
It should not be that way.
It's nice. I haven't had a lot of experience with bad shippers on eBay, but I usually buy from more reputable. I don't buy a lot of stuff from people like us. I buy, like chargers for cameras and stuff, and those usually come from K-Star, and they ship well. So
I had an issue with K-Star. They shipped. I bought it on Amazon. They shipped it out. It never got here.
Huh?
Never. I had to buy it again. They were very fast,
really
and they refunded immediately and all the things. And
so they did the right thing. And K-Star is really good.
I should have told me that I finally get it here and the camera doesn't work that I was getting the charger for. I should have known. That should have been the sign when they didn't come. Throw the camera away.
So the way I make decisions about buying a charger for a camera is this camera worth more in parts than the charger is going to cost me? And
people tell me all the time
charger and battery
that I use too much packing. So get this. So here's the mindset of these people. These people are absolutely insane. So one of the comments on one of my videos, I'm doing Whatnot shipping, and so when I've got something that bubble wrap, I don't want it to come out of the bubble wrap if it moves around. If there's something crazy happens, so I'll tape the bubble wrap to make sure that it's like the bubble wrap ball. The person told me their comment was, "You shouldn't use all that tape on the bubble wrap. How can the next person reuse the bubble wrap? You should use rubber bands."
What?
I'm like, you've got to be the stupidest motherfucker on the planet. Use a rubber band to hold bubble wrap.
I always tape them, and you know what? The tape comes right off.
I don't reuse bubble wrap.
It is my job to get it to the customer.
I do.
It is not my job to supply them a bubble wrap in case they are a seller to use on their items.
Wait, so you're supposed to assume that they might be a reseller, so you should no, or is it a save the planet type thing?
I'm gonna take a chance on this thing, me not being comfortable about shipping it, just in case they might want to reuse the bubble wrap.
No, what you should do is put an American Bubble Boy card in the package.
Did you know that American Bubble Boy has local pickup? You can pick up local if there's a.
They're based in New York, aren't they?
Yeah, but they have several. They have one in.
Oh my God, Todd!
I was talking to Thrifty Santa Barry, and they have one down near him. I think in Lenore, North Carolina. So if you're anywhere near there, it's way cheaper to pick up.
I solved y'all's noise issue too.
I still hear it.
Yeah, just include a extra piece of bubble wrap in the box. And then you'll be okay.
Rubber band shadows.
It works good. That is a smart idea. Wait, so you're trading one ruin the planet for another? You're just using rubber instead of plastic.
It's people. Too many people, especially keyboard warriors, get in their own head.
Entitled.
They are. you can't see things from a customer point of view. It's all you can't shake the reseller out. I don't do as a reseller. I don't do things. It's my job is to get you the product there without it being broken. It's that's it. As simple as that.
So
That's
your
what I
next shipping video, use extra tape and
uh,
duct tape.
yeah, like with like a spray paint in a box. I need to make one where I
Do a
just make
dummy.
a big ass tape ball.
Yeah, do a dummy package and make it duct tape it some shit
Yeah,
in a cereal box.
highlight his comment and lead us setting up there the whole time, and just go to town wrapping the shit out of it. And then put one rubber band around the outside of the box and send it on its way.
Well, you could use a rubber band on.
And talking about it's cheaper. Rubber bands are not cheaper than tape. Sorry.
You can go to Dollar Tree and get rubber bands, but the problem with that is they're all assorted sizes, and it's never the right size for what you need. So.
You know how many feet of tape you can get? Send them a tire.
They still needed to put tape on the label.
So what if you're one of these sellers that use pool noodles?
Southern
and
Vermont,
cut them
you
down. You got to leave them full and whole so that they can reuse them.
You actually got a negative for Wrap Too Well. Oh my god, you can't. There's no winning with people. You just.
I have had people tape the hell out of things, and it is annoying. But I would never leave a negative feedback for that.
So that's the other option that takes a little longer. Tamara is to use the stretch wrap.
I have a nice big roll of that stuff. I used it a lot for Amazon.
You have every prop just sitting there in case we might mention something.
I got one too. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, mine's bigger.
It's not about the size. It's how
yeah?
you work the package with it.
Oh, I can't. Mine is in the pile thing, but I have one of those industrial size rolls in here.
I use these for shoes. So you put the shoes.
Now Todd, mine's not green, but it is bigger than that. Mine's the clear stuff. I got it.
I don't know what that is, Todd?
It was free at a. It was in a free box at a yard sale.
Stretch wrap.
That up. But I don't use it that often I don't like the way it feels.
Only for shoes. We'll put the two shoes. We'll bundle them together and wrap it.
Well, when I was selling on Amazon, some things I didn't have not a poly bag, but a clear bag big enough. So I would make a sticker and wrap them in that stuff. Because if it has a hole over 5 inches, if it has something over 5 inches that is exposed like a doll in a package, and the open area is more than 5 inches, you have to cover that on Amazon. So that's what I did. I used saran wrap.
Some of these comments
shrink wrap.
So I have the stretch wrap. I also have the shrink wrap machine that'll, like these here. I
want one of those. I would love to have one.
Oh, mine's just the I-bar. I've got a couple of them. I found both of them at yard sale. I found both the ones I've gotten out at yard sales.
I have the sealer, but I don't have a thing that sucks the air out, and
it's called a heat gun.
So you just use what, shrink wrap and a heat gun? Is that it?
Yes, I order the shrink wrap to put on the I-bar because it's all one. It's got the thing, the cutter.
Yeah.
It's all one piece, so that it holds the roll. You can't see it from here.
I don't care how much you pump this new gadget up. I am not buying it. I refuse. I've got
That's
enough.
not a new gadget. That's probably one of the things he's.
I've had it. I bought this at a yard sale for $20. I've had it for a year.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having one. I would love to, because it's just a nicer presentation when you're selling a DVD or something, even though it's used.
Yeah, I used to use it a lot more, like with Amazon stuff, where I sending in Squishmallows and all that kind of stuff, where it had to be poly bag. But if you use the stretch, if you use the shrink, you don't have to put all the warning labels on it. And so I would just shrink it, hit it with a heat gun real quick, and then stick a label on it.
I was just using.
It's also good to repairing any of the plastic wrap that gets damaged on some things. Like if you got a board game or something, I can replace the plastic wrap on a board game or a puzzle.
I just got a video game, a GameCube, brand new sealed, but the shrink wrap on it is so bad that I had to sell it as pre-owned.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I would like to have one of the machines that folds the corners like on those. That would be nice.
Well, yeah, but then you'd be not you. I know you would still sell it as pre-owned, but unless if it was already new, then you just replacing the shrink wrap. I don't know. But it would be nice to have them. Some unscrupulous people would use that though and sell a lot of used shit as new.
Yeah, where is it? One of them is over there on the shelf. You can't see it. It's that black thing right there.
I don't have the room for it, but man, would I love to.
The other one, you can see the roll. You can see the roll right there.
Yeah. I picked up one at a yard sale about 2-3 years ago and sold it with the. Well, I think I sold the wrap separate.
Hey Carl, I did sell it as new open.
There is no such thing as open package new.
No, you can sell new open box on eBay, but it still comes up as pre-owned when it's in the search.
It should never have the word new. It's the first. Amazon is 100% correct. You'll never change my mind. Like new is the first category of used. Sorry, just is.
Yes, I agree.
How many times you go to a yard sale and they say, "Oh, it's like new" or "It's new"? No, it's not.
Only used for 16
it one
hours.
time, but still, it's not new.
If you go read eBay, it's somebody who was on crack who wrote that. You can do open box like new, and it doesn't. You don't even have to have the original packaging, for God's sakes. And then people abuse this shit. So go read some of these listings that are like new. It doesn't show any. It doesn't show any sign, or it's missing this or missing that. It's only got a mark here. None of that shit is like. They should never have the word new in it. Never. Wow. Yeah, like that all the time. You see that it's only been used a couple times. It's.
I use new open box.
They set the rules, not us, right? It's their sandbox. They can do whatever they want. So they set the rules. This is what
new open box.
Well,
but
eBay
it has to be brand new open box. I mean, I won't do it unless it's brand new.
Well, eBay is crooked too because, like when I was listening to DVDs, what was I was finding yesterday? Hold on. DVD.
I love looking on Facebook. This car, 1966 Chevelle or 69 Chevelle or whatever. Never seen winter, and the pictures are of it in the snow. It's funny as hell. But that's the same mentality. You know what I mean?
So when they sold me my car, it had 18 miles on it. Is that used?
Mine had 14 when I got it. And they sold it to me as new. Maybe I should fight that.
Someone drove it first.
Yeah, because they drove it, in the factory, drove it onto the truck, drove it off the truck, drove it, around the yard a few times.
They used it.
Mine was so new when I got it, they hadn't even peeled all the stickers on stuff off. There's a lot of stickers that come on new cars and plastic and things, and I still have one of the stickers on there. I left it on purpose. I peeled the rest off. I got it the day it came in because I wanted it, You could see they hadn't even prepped the car because you could see the suction cup marks where they put the front window in. They were still on the. They didn't even clean the window. New open boxes, stock image. You're getting a used item every time, probably. I do. I don't think I've used a stock image in a long time. I never really liked using them, but there are times where I will find somebody else selling something on eBay if it's a brand new item, and I got lazy and didn't take pictures, and I'll
But
steal their
it's
pictures and change the background.
my whole point to this is
But it's a brand new item.
they have set it up for resellers to get away with shit, and they have not thought about the customer experience and what the customer is expecting versus what they get is completely different. If a customer sees open box new, they're expecting an item that's never been used, that maybe the seal is broken. That's all they're expecting. They're not expecting an item that can be in a plain box, no packaging, no material, and you're going to disappoint that customer every single time by over promising and under delivering.
I can see that for the listings that there's 0 photos of the item. There's a lot of listings out there where there's open box, all stock photos, not a single photo of what you're getting, and then they get something that's beat up, so they're going to be disappointed. But I think the sellers need to be putting more photos in the listings. Of course, buyers don't always look, but
well, they used to let you use a stock photo on a used item, but they're getting much lower. That happens more and more frequently where there's the stock photo when you collect used does not disappear anymore.
I will not buy an item that's used with a stock photo. Will not do it. Because
now, if I have this is an example that I use. If I have a tent, let's say it's a used tent, okay, I ain't setting that damn thing up in my backyard. I'm not doing it just so I could take some photos and sell the damn thing. So I will put photos of the parts and the box and all that stuff, but I will use a stock photo. Somewhere in the listing, I'll use the stock photo to show what the hell it looks like because,
Craig's over there talking about, the CD in the description says it doesn't skip, but in the picture it says on the with CDs and stuff. I don't test them. I'll look at the disc. But if you're listing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of CDs, I might put plays good and doesn't skip. And if it does, I'll take the return or just refund them because that is a lot of work to go through all those. I've never had one come back because it skipped when I said that either.
Lag agrees with me, so it must be right. The universe is lined up.
Lag has been off today.
As long as my customers and eBay agree with me, then I'm happy.
Right.
I'm not saying it's a personal opinion because if something is just a broken seal or whatever, I still think the item is unused. It can still be considered new in my eyes. If I get it, I'm fine with it. But I'm just telling you, and it is too much of a chance. Customers are too hard to get. We are losing customers by the thousands every day on this platform, and you have to make it where their expectations are met. The adage of under promise and over deliver has worked since the beginning of time. And you can't just go against that because, Larry down the street, who's going to send this in a graham cracker box, decided that he can charge an extra $3 if he calls it open box.
Why would you do that, Larry?
Okay. Yeah, Larry, you bastard.
Come on, Larry.
Come on, Larry Todd.
It's
assholes.
At some point, are we going to get? It's how do you cull out these things? How do you make these things right? You've got to be more specific in your rules and take the gray area out and tell them this is exactly what. That's what Amazon has done. They have made it easy. If it is not pristine, you can't call it new. An Amazon customer knows if it is new, it is what they're. It's just like they're picking up in the store off the shelf. It is new.
Right.
It's just
for the platform.
I always undergrade,
but it's because Amazon focuses so much on the customer versus the seller.
On eBay, if I have a DVD or something, any item, and they give me the list like new, very good, I'm always choosing good, and then I'll put in the description what it is, but it's always going to be good.
Yeah, I never. Unless I've got it and it's just a torn piece of the stretch wrap.
Almost always choosing.
That's
good.
the only time I use like new on like DVD stuff on Amazon.
I've almost never chose.
It's always good.
Sometimes very good, but almost never like new, unless it Like new to me is like you go in a store and buy it. You know, I know that's the first used category, but it's still. I'd rather undergrade something and people get a good experience when they get something better than they expected than
Because I can't tell you
overgrade.
how many times that I've picked up stuff doing RA over the years in a store brand new that you know is brand new that doesn't qualify for brand new on Amazon. Just doesn't.
Mm-mm. Oh, lots of times. Lots of times.
But the difference is if you're in a store and you're purchasing it as an you can physically inspect the item, and that's a little different in person. You're choosing to accept that item, but it's when it's a customer that's getting it, all they're looking at is pictures, and that you've done your best to put it at the best angle to take the best picture. I mean, how many of these sellers are going to show a flaw in a picture, or do these things are they going to try to make it look in the best light so they think they can get the most money out of this item? There's too many of that out there.
Yeah, people. Well, I think Mr. Say says books are probably the most misrepresented item, and it probably is true. But people don't really know how to grade things,
Mm.
and they just guessing. And to one person's like new as a book collector is good. You know what I mean?
When I was selling books, I used to take it so serious that I had on that cabinet over there for several years. I had the printout of the book condition taped to it.
Yep. I
So I would
would
have
not ever sell one as new unless I got it in shrink wrap from, it was in shrink wrap from the factory. That's the only way I'd ever sell a book as new. Other than that, it was,
so if
and
I
it
knew
was
it was
never like
new,
new. It was
if I
very
knew it
good
was
or
new
less.
and I bought it from like Barnes and Noble or something, but I would actually stretch. That was another thing I was shrink wrapping. If I sent books in, I shrink wrap every one of them because
I started to, but
them moving them around means the book can be change conditions just from Amazon handling it.
yep. Books are really. I know a bookseller at the bins, and it's been really rough for him. He's doing sell back your book more than Amazon anymore because the book category is just crap anymore over there. And he sells a lot of books, so much so that I don't even bother looking at books at the bins anymore. I let him have them.
30 padded mailers as bubble wrap. Shit. And let me guess, they were priority padded mailers.
When I first started selling on eBay, I did things like that. I didn't use a cereal box, but I use a padded mailer on the inside once in a while, and covered a priority mailbox in brown paper.
We
But I
ordered
quickly learned that was a stupid thing to do.
we ordered some stuff from Amazon, and I'm like, why am I getting a priority mail package? So we ordered some Barkeeper's Friend, that cleaner, and we ordered the spray, the liquid, and the powder. We ordered two different orders, and it must be the same seller because they used a priority mailbox. They paid priority shipping for that. Now I don't know if there's a benefit of doing that on Amazon or not as a seller, but
No.
they used the priority mail bubble mailers for cushioning on the inside for padding.
So the only reason they might have had to do that is the time restrictions on because ground advantage versus priority about when it'll get there. They might have had to do it in order to meet Amazon's delivery time.
I have, John, in the past, put something in a priority mailer, thinking it was going to go priority, and it went first class back in the day or ground advantage now instead. And I just threw it in a box with the priority mailer still on it. Things like that do happen, but
Well, they just used this as padding, and they ran out of bubble wrap. Apparently, they just took like 4 or 5 of them, stuffed them in the box so that
I rarely use priority mail anymore. The other day, it was actually cheaper to send. I sold a big guy pair of jeans, and it was actually cheaper to ship it padded flat than it was ground advantage, and that's the first time in a very long time that's happened. So,
just Whatnot. I sell priority on Whatnot just because.
Oh yeah,
but other than that,
I do.
Well, because they kind of make you though.
No,
Yes.
They don't make you, but it benefits you to do it. If you can fit things in a flat rate box, it benefits you to do it.
Yeah, between 1 and 5 pounds, I think you're kind of stuck doing that.
Even with my plush, I've gone to buying smaller plush just so that when somebody buys 15 plush, I can fit them in a small or a large flat rate instead of going ground advantage with that and then using one of my adjustments.
Yeah, I'm out of adjustments this week. Oops.
I used one in this week. Usually I use 2 or 3 just for my hat show, but I've figured out how to safely, I hope, put hats in a flat rate box. We had a lot more buyers this week, and less of them were buying multiples, so I was able to get everything in flat rate boxes for the most part. It was nice for a change. But when you're shipping priority with whatnot, like your 1 to 5 pounds, you can still use that large box, not the priority large, the large box, and it'll still ship. So I did that with some of the plush this week. Apex Jeff comes in and buys from me quite often. He likes puppets.
This is awesome. So Amazon suspended this person's account because they are selling a tea, an English breakfast tea that does not have bilingual labels on it. While Amazon themselves continue to sell the exact same problem without the labels.
Yeah. I still use a bunch of my old, I'm almost out of my regional Bs now, but you can use them as a regular priority box on whatnot. So that's what I've been using. A lot of regional Bs.
I haven't seen somebody use a label as tape, but it doesn't surprise me.
I've seen it.
Get one with labels all the way around it as tape. That'd be awesome. Hey,
I'll use labels to cover up old labels and then put another label on top of it so it doesn't show through. And I'll use brown tape to cover. Like when I'm selling on whatnot, I don't want my buyer to be confused. So if I'm using an eBay box, I'll just cover up the eBay logo with brown tape.
yes,
paper tape.
Southern Vermont. There used to be a large one that was like for video game. I mean, for board games or something. There used to be a large, crazy flat rate box.
I don't remember Regional C. That must have been a much bigger box. The Regional B is a little bit, I think, a little bit bigger than the large flat.
Yeah, we never use priority supplies. I still have some. I should give it back.
Well, there was a time when the regional boxes were worth using until they quit that program before Ground Advantage. And I used a lot of regional boxes because it was cheaper than shipping regular priority a lot of the time. They do still have that large priority mailing box, Javis, that's about that size. Which perfect for whatnot, 12 by 12 by 12, because that's the size they default anyway. I ordered some recently and they haven't come yet. I mean, 2-3 weeks now. I should probably check on that order. Stamps.com. I typed in USPS.com or USPS in the search engine and stamps.com came up first. Sign in. Where's my order? Activity history. Maybe that's where it's at. Order shipped in March. I didn't get it. The order shipped in March, and I still haven't got it.
It's time for a breakfast sandwich. The regional C was 12. Dang.
Yeah. But they still have a box that size, I believe.
No, it's 12.
Is it? Well, it's still a good size box. It's a big box.
It's 12. All right. So everybody run to the post office because they've got good sized boxes.
Bar in my brain, eBay's looking twisted, nothing feels the same, margins bleed like oil, my listings disappear, AI scans my soul, whispering in my ear, silicon shadow.